What's up, family? It is your man, CRP Jr. with Big Lou Stevens in the background. We are here in NYC, in the heart of the theater district, at the Marquis Marriott, doing a little content create, having some meetings, of which we've been very fruitful, of which you guys will see the results of very, very soon. So while we've been here in the Big Apple, we've been reminiscing about the Detroit-New York connection and how from Broadway here, we're on 45th between Broadway and 8th. We're on 127th Street and Lenox. To how it ties back into Geneva and Hamilton, or French Road and McGaffin. So right here, the Marquis Marriott, this used to be Pop's, basically, New York office. All through that Pakistani plug run, this is where he would come, set up base to really navigate, take his meetings. Sometimes the carriers would come in, he'd bring the crew. They'd come do what they needed to do, grab the package, get it back to New York. But a lot of times it was just here for meetings to meet with, to connect people, to figure out how to do the next move. Now, of course, you guys have heard me and Eddie Baby talk about a joint called Indigo Blues. Indigo Blues is basically where it's now Bond 45. This was a club ran by the brother that we call Big Ed, not to be confused with Big Ed Hansen from Detroit. Of course, we had some tie-ins with our family, with Lala and the rest, and cousin Tony, R.I.P. But Big Ed in New York, who we met through a brother named Money Walt. Shout out to Money Walt down there in Fort Lauderdale. Money Walt had hooked us up with this brother from the Bronx, Big Ed, who had a nightclub comedy show that was right here. And this is where we end up carrying on, where Ed ends up having to shut down, because we're going to get into that. Mike Epps, Cheryl Underwood, J.B. Smooth, Darnell Rawlings, Hamburg, all those acts we got access to right here. Wendy Williams was up and coming and struggling. Ed used to give her a play and let her host some of his Thursday night comedy shows at Indigo Blues. So Ed doing his thing, he moving around good. Pops would sometimes be in town, camped out here at the Marriott holding court. Eddie Baby be coming in town to see the Dominicans, Kid Cuba, and that crew. It'd be like a family reunion sometime when Eddie and 250 be in town, and we come meet Pops down here, run up Pops' room charge, because I got the same name, so we could go to the steakhouse, up to the viewing tower, all of the above, just being spoiled Kingpin's kids kind of stuff. But once Eddie got tied in to Big Ed through me, through Money Walt, we would come cop, Eddie would come cop his bricks right here in the theater district at Indigo Blues. Now, this thing get to going good, and one particular fateful day, Eddie and Big Ed and Eddie doing their deal, and Big Ed say, you know what, I should just bring the bag to Detroit. Tomorrow I'm picking up 20 of them joints. And we tell him, yeah, man, just come to Detroit. We set you up in a hotel. You can run through the bag. You'll be back in New York in 2 days with your bread. Well, unfortunately, instead of coming to Detroit with us, as we had talked about, Big Ed decided to go shoot another move down to Baltimore. His people in Baltimore had flipped on him. As soon as he gets off the train in Baltimore, he gets bagged. But the flip side of that was, because of his legal troubles which started, he ended up having to shut down Indigo Blues. So Money Walt and Big J Walt, who was the promoters for Indigo Blues, had all these acts, again, Mike Epps, T.K. Kirkland, Cheryl Underwood, J.B. Smooth, Darnell Rawlings. All these comedians was looking for work. Pops had bought the Cotillion Club. I introduced Money Walt and Jay to Pops, told him, look, we can start blowing up the Cotillion Club using these acts from New York. We went on to do a whole series, bringing top flight comedians, all these guys we became the Def Comedy Jam, not of New York, but the Def Comedy Jam of Detroit. But this was the ground zero for all that action. It was right here at the Marquis Marriott, 45th Street, between Broadway and 8th Avenue. This was the office really for the Pakistan Blood. So, because most of the work either came in through New York or through out in California. It'd be here, unfortunately, where Schoolyard George would end up catching his case. Muhammad's people had got compromised. Schoolyard George walked right into an undercover operation with the DEA, and being the soldier that he was and is, when it went down, all Schoolyard George told those people is, just give me my 20 and send me someplace warm. And the fans appreciated his realness so much that that's what they did. They gave George his 20. He ended up having to do about 16 of the 20, and never rolled on us for forever being George's debt. But Terrell, Shauna, Trina, Rhonda, the whole crew from from Detroit, got opportunities to experience New York and the game. Again, it's levels to this stuff, man. It ain't all grimy street corner stuff. Sometime at a certain level, the game is actually going down in environments like this. New York City, Marquis Marriott. So just another story from back in the day. Again, checking us out on YouTube. Hit that like, that share, and subscribe button. The Patreon thing is all but ready to launch. Some of this exclusive stuff, the real backstory, details of this 40-year saga that the fat man set into motion, we're going to have available for you on Patreon. So we're excited about all that. Hopefully you guys have checked out the trailer, which is Motown Mafia Part 2, the docu-series, the YBI era. We're going to tie out when all that thing was going on with YBI. And Pops had sent me out here, started getting some jobs to cover my tracks. And Mr. B's running this thing. And this is, of course, the same area where you look at these fancy, legitimate buildings and you think it's all Disney and Starbucks and Marriott, and that there ain't no backstory to this. But no, a lot of these places were the fronts for people like Muhammad out of the Pakistani plug or Mr. B out of the Bahamas. This is where they get their bag dropped off to them, get their money dropped off. And of course, businesses like this, they can justify having the millions of dollars that the hustle is justifying. So we're going to go through all of that, really break in, So if you guys be looking at Scarface and you see that scene in there where Tony Montana tells the banker, I'm not going to pay you guys to launder my money anymore. I'll just fly my money straight to the Bahamas. Well, when we can no longer fly the money straight to the Bahamas, we start bringing the money to places like this, neighborhoods like this, and they take care of it from that. So just a little history of the game, history of the Motown Mafia. It's your man CRP Jr., Big Lou in the background, New York City, Theater District. Holla at your man. Baby.